Original post, February 25, 2024. I know I did something awful and disgusting, and when I couldn't take the guilt anymore I cut off my affair partner and confessed everything to my husband. He got more upset and depressed than angry, and I begged him to not divorce me. I proposed counseling, therapy, and even allowing him to have sex with other women, but he wasn't interested. He said he wanted to try to work us out and I jumped in being the best wife a man could ask for. I cook his favorite dishes, leave him loving notes, and bought new lingerie to entice him. His reactions are lukewarm at best. He smiles and thanks me, but not once he has said he loves me since I have confessed. He barely initiates anything, and I basically have to push myself on him, not that he complains. Sometimes we talk about this, but I think I still lost the man I love. His behavior with me feels very artificial and nothing changes his facade. I can be playful, I can be sad, I can get angry, and I can get seductive. His reaction is always this stupid smile and polite words. He was so emotional and sincere before all of this happened. I want him to let out his true emotions with me, even if he hates me. I still love him so much. What can I do to fix this? TLDR, I cheated on my husband. He didn't get angry and is always kind with me, but I feel he's become indifferent to me. Relevant comments. Comment 1, is this a troll post? If not, please share some details. How long have you been together and how long was the affair? Who is the other man? Co-worker? OP. We have been married for 5 years, my affair lasted a couple of months, and it was with a client. Comment 2. What do you mean by cutting off the affair? Is this person still a client? Do you have to have business contact with him? Are you seeing a therapist? Do you know why you strayed? OP, I ended my relationship with the client and passed his contract to a co-worker, no contact ever since. I have been doing individual therapy. I don't know why I did all this, my body felt like it was on autopilot. Update 1, March 23, 2024. He knows I cheated. We didn't separate and I begged him to not divorce and to let me fix this. He agreed, but his behavior since my confession has basically been one of indifference. Like I wrote on my last post, I do my best to be the best wife he could ask for. I cook his favorite foods, get him gifts, and screw his brains out every night. He just smiles and thanks me. He acts kind and never yells at me, but I feel his icy indifference under that mask of courtesy. 2 weeks ago, he started coming home late. Very late. And when he does, he just goes to bed. I asked him what's going on, and he told me in the kindest way possible that it's not my business. I call him when he stays out and he picked up only once. I heard a woman laughing in the background. I am starting to think he is cheating back on me. It hurts. If he told me, at least I would do my best to stomach it. I deserve this after all. But he won't tell me, he just shuts me out. A common friend told me she spotted him in a car with a woman she didn't recognize, and this felt like a stab in the heart. She said she couldn't describe her exactly because she wore big sunglasses, but she recognized my husband because of his particular taste in neckties. They were talking, but my friend said that from their position it looked like they were holding their hands or one of them was touching the other's lap. I don't know what to do. If he is having an affair I deserve it, but I need to know. The uncertainty is killing me. Should I confront him? Should I try to find out more? Update 2, March 26, 2024. He left me. I did like you guys said and begged him to talk to me. He didn't want to, but I cried and yelled so much I puked all over. He got softer with me, he helped me clean up and we talked. I asked him if he was cheating on me and he said he was talking with someone, but didn't do anything with her. I asked if she was the woman my friend saw him with, he thought on it a little but said no, it was another woman whom he met a month ago in his office. I asked him how he could, and he said I gave him permission, and he didn't do anything besides unloading his problems and our situation with her. But he played it like he was having a full affair so I could feel what he felt, especially because according to him I neglected him and made it obvious I was cheating on him. He said he was suffering, and I was almost rubbing it in his face. I told him I wasn't doing it on purpose, and he said this was even worse because I didn't care at all. He said that everything I did after confessing meant nothing and just made him think I am selfish, self-centered, and lack any sort of self-respect. I asked him if we could work on myself and our marriage, but he said we can have counseling to sort ourselves out, but the marriage is over. He said he wishes no ill on me, and decided to cut his charade because he could no longer bear to the woman he once loved to suffer like that. But he said I am no longer that woman. I started sobbing again and he held me, but he kept saying no when I asked him to work this out. I asked him what he was going to do and he's moving out, he already found a new place. I asked him if he was going to live with that woman, I asked him how he could pick a total stranger he met a month ago over his wife of 5 years. He said his wife of 5 years no longer exists, he has to pick between two strangers, and that woman made a much better impression on him. I told him he was a fool, and he could not know this woman will probably use and dump him. He got harsh and said she's better than me for sure. He said he won't say to our families our marriage ended because I cheated, but because we grew apart, and that he will leave the house to me as long as I make the divorce smooth. But if I try to take him to the cleaners, drag it out, or cause any problem, he will tell everyone what I did and destroy me and my reputation. This happened yesterday and he has already packed up almost everything. I can't stop crying and I can't believe this is happening. This is horrible and unfair. Edit, you guys are right in saying that I suck. But he has fault too, he never really wanted to fix this. He used me for months and then discarded me. And yet I want him back and forgive and forget all the hurt we done to each other. As for his girl, I don't think she will be good for him. Update 3, April 11, 2024. This feels like a nightmare. I keep telling myself it's not real and I am going to wake up. My husband moved out 2 weeks ago, ostensibly to live with another woman. But I kept eye and ears on him, had some friends tell me his going-ons, and seemingly there was no other woman at all. I hoped he was just collecting his thoughts and that he would come back to me. But today he did it. He had me served. I don't want to believe he is done with us. I love him so much, and I miss him every day. Story 2. Am I the asshole for changing out of my bridesmaid dress during the reception? Original post, Jan 24, 2024. My 25 female, brother 23 male, got married to my sister-in-law 23 female, who seemed perfect for him in every way. He proposed to her at Disney World, and as soon as they announced their engagement, she started planning the wedding. Everything was going great. Her mom gave her 20 grand and she decided to buy the bridesmaid dresses so she was sure she could have what she wanted. She asked her 4 best friends and me to be her bridesmaids, and presented the dress options to me because I was the biggest and she wanted to make sure they fit. She got 2 colors in the same style and the lighter one fit me very well. The darker was extremely tight and short enough to not completely cover my downstairs area. I thought it had been mislabeled, and I showed her. It was the biggest size the dress came in, so obviously I couldn't wear it. She agreed, and put the dresses away. Fast forward to a week before the wedding, and she decides to use the dark color, and has apparently forgotten that it doesn't fit, because she brought out the lighter color for each fitting. Her mom set up an extra fitting for the dark dress, and the seamstress and I both freaked out once I put it on again. I had lost 5 pounds, but gained more boobs. I'm 38 hours and the dress was baby doll style, so it hung well above my hoo-ha. The fabric didn't have any extra to let out seams, and the only thing we could do was replace the straps to make them a couple inches longer. The chest puckered so much that we sewed the slip part of the dress to the outer fabric to make it less noticeable, and at the end of the day, she just told me to wear shorts under it because there wasn't anything else she could do. I told sister-in-law and she just said it couldn't be as bad as I thought, and to deal with it. I said I would rather not be in the wedding at all, and she flipped. She got the whole immediate and extended family, who were already in town, to talk to me, and I finally agreed to stay on as long as I could wear shorts under the dress. The day of, we were getting ready, and I put on my shorts so my underwear wouldn't show. Sister-in-law freaked and said they showed under the dress, and I couldn't wear them and stop being dramatic. The other bridesmaids looked sympathetic but didn't say anything. So, I took off the shorts and held the hem as I walked, and the flowers low. I hid in the back of all the photos and the groomsmen who walked the aisle with me held my elbow instead of lacing arms so I could still hold my hem and my bouquet. Immediately after photos in the ceremony, and with permission from the bride and groom from the day before, I changed into a different outfit, same color, no embellishments, but longer. When she saw me later, she started yelling at me that I was so dramatic and I was ruining her wedding and to just leave. I didn't have a car with me, so I just sat outside the venue until the reception ended so as to not upset her further. She now has a photo from the ceremony hanging on her wall, and I've been photoshopped out of it completely. And she's been reminiscing about the wedding recently, and including me in the conversations, like "OP, do you remember the bridesmaid dresses? Oh, they looked so good," among other things. I legit cannot tell if she just doesn't remember or if she's trying to be mean. I am autistic and not the best in social situations, so I really don't know if I'm being dramatic, or if I should have just said no to being in the wedding even through the pressure of my family. And when I told my parents and brother when we are all together one night that the whole situation made me feel pretty bad, they all said that I was being dramatic. It was her day and it's their house and they can hang any art they want on the walls, and to stop complaining about the past. I hadn't brought it up at all since the wedding, So I didn't think I was complaining all that much, but maybe I was. Maybe I made the day more stressful for myself than it needed to be. Maybe she just wanted to forget it happened and that's why she photoshopped me out of the photo. Am I the asshole? What do I do? Update 1, February 1, 2024. I followed the advice people gave on my last post, and I showed my family, mom, dad, and brother, my post and all the comments. My brother said my sister-in-law feels incredibly embarrassed that she made me wear the dress in the first place, and that's why she did all the stuff, photoshopping me out of the wedding photo on their wall, kicking me out of the reception. He also said telling me the dresses looked pretty was her way of apologizing. He asked me not to show sister-in-law the post because she'd be so sad and embarrassed. He said she's really trying to forget it happened at all. My mom said she was sorry and that she didn't realize most of that stuff had happened and didn't know I was still upset about the dress. She said it was a crappy situation and she understands why I would be upset, and nobody enjoyed seeing me walk down the aisle like that. She apologized for telling me to not pick that battle, because she realizes now that it wasn't just a small thing to deal with, and if she had realized sister-in-law was still going with the dress that didn't fit, with more notice than a day or two, she would have done something and maybe we could have altered the dress more or whatever. I think she's really upset that it happened, and she couldn't do anything about it, and that I shared it on the internet for strangers to read. My dad laughed at everyone calling my sister-in-law an asshole. He thought my post was hilarious. He especially liked that I talked about him explaining the battles phrase, because he is almost never the one explaining phrases to me lol, that's usually mom and brother. He said I made him sound great. I also sent the post to my cousin who had me in her wedding after my brother's wedding, and she told me it reignited her rage from that day. She invited me to come live with her a whole state away from my parents and brother for a while. I think I'm going to do it. I have not shown the post to my sister-in-law. I'm a little afraid this has made some things worse, like my family might start fighting about it and it would be my fault. Maybe I should have just been passive-aggressive like some people suggested. I'm sorry I don't have better news. Update 2, February 12, 2024. Lots of people have asked me to update again. So here goes. My mom really isn't the villain in this story, I promise. She was the one who got sister-in-law to agree to the shorts and the changing dresses. She didn't know I'd been photoshopped out of the picture, she had never looked at it that closely. It's hanging in my sister-in-law and brother's place. She is the one who had always advocated for me, with doctors and schools and family and other people. I think she was just incredibly stressed and didn't realize a lot of this was happening until I brought it up the first time, and even then, I don't think I put as much gravitas on the situation as I should have. Also, she only recently realized that I don't lie. Growing up I was known as a liar, because my undiagnosed autism had me not completely understanding and responding to questions very literally. She apparently thought I was lying when I brought up the photo earlier, having never actually looked closely at it. Now she has looked and she's very upset. Anyway, here's the actual update. I'm in my new room at my cousin's place writing this, and a whole lot has happened. First of all, thank you for all the support. My last update seems to have gone crazy with comments and upvotes. I decided to partially take the advice from the comments on my first update, but while hopefully still honoring my brother's wishes, I do want to eventually salvage my relationship with him. Instead of showing my sister-in-law my posts, I confronted her. I told her how it made me feel during the situation and in the aftermath, and I asked her why she took me out of the picture. She said she had already apologized to me after the wedding, and while she did a crappy thing, it was uncool of me to continue to bring it up. I told her I didn't remember that at all, and she said, well, I said I was sorry, and if you don't remember it, that's not my fault. I asked about the photo, and she told me that she took me out because I didn't like any of the photos, so she removed me and thought that it would have made me happy. I left the next day, and once I got to my cousin's and told her what was going on, she got really mad and went upstairs to cool off. This next part I didn't find out about until a few days ago, because I had my phone off, trying to go low contact with my family. My cousin put up both my posts on sister-in-law's social media, telling everyone she was the sister-in-law, and that I had to move away because of her. Not only did all her friends and family read them in the comments, but so did her boss. She got fired because the boss didn't want someone who bullied disabled people in their workplace, especially when they work with kids. My family also saw it, and apparently, everyone has been blowing her up so much that she deleted her accounts and is crying every day. She's also pregnant, and my bro has been calling my phone non-stop, leaving messages saying that I am going to make her lose the baby due to the stress I caused. People have also been calling and texting me, mostly in support but also some saying I got her fired and telling everyone what she did was not worth the fallout. My cousin says she got what she deserved, And while some of the comments have said I don't stand up for myself enough, I can't help but feel bad for her. I didn't want her to get fired, I just wanted an apology. It's kind of funny that her brother only seems to care when it affects his wife but not his sister. Also, how hard is it to apologize for a mistake instead of doubling down on it, like assuming it was a mistake and not on purpose? You would think a quick sorry wouldn't be hard. I'm glad OP's cousin is supporting and standing up for her. She needs someone on her side. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video.